Good morning. It's time for today's edition of the Daily Stand-Up. Without any further ado, let's get started. Lee Henson here, president and founder of AgileDad. This week, we are doing MythBusters. I thought that would be kind of fun. So we're going to cover our second myth of the week. Hopefully yesterday you learned that agility is not hype, that it's the real deal. Today, we're going to talk about this myth. Myth number 2 says, agility is only for IT or technical product development. Ooh. Here's the deal. From a reality perspective, the quote that I see here is agile transformation can start with an enterprise-wide perspective. Still, the value of agile models will be greater in some parts of the organization than others. Now, that's true. Think carefully about which parts will benefit the most because it requires significant effort to apply an agile model. That's where I disagree. I think that if you change the way that you approach work and you limit work in progress, descale, increase your team size to a normal team size, and have the right number of products or projects in motion, that you can actually benefit greatly in most areas of the organization in a very simple way. I don't find that it's as complex as what people make it out to be. So for starters, let's break this down. It says agility is only for IT. Okay, let's stop right there. That already is myth. That's false. Agility can be applied in every part of your organization. We see this in people who do talent management or recruiting. We see this in organizations where they do entertainment or finance or business or legal or equity or you name it, right? There's so many different ways that this can be applied. Now, is it more difficult to apply in some areas than other areas? You bet. You have to do the thinking part. You have to think things out and decide how it's going to benefit your organization to take on an agile approach. Does it make more sense to try something different? Does it make more sense to follow a more traditional design approach? In a partnership that I have with Vets to PM, we've discovered the power of a traditional project management professional, a PMP certification, and how you can leverage pieces of that along with Scrum certifications, Certified Scrum Master and Certified Scrum Product Owner, to create an all-purpose tool individual or multi-purpose tool individual, someone who understands how to deal with product or project development, regardless of whether it's technical or not, and someone who can also apply agile principles when needed and traditional principles when needed to have a more well-rounded product development approach. And I feel like that's probably the answer for most situational or organizational things that we encounter, right? That if you take on a rounded approach and say to yourself, we're not going to do Scrum or Fall, and we're not going to do Water Scrum. Not trying to promote that at all. You know, don't go chasing Scrum or Fall. Please stick to the rivers and the lakes that you're used to, right? That moment was brought to you by TLC. No, but really, you don't want to get some kind of hybrid mishmash version of it. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that over time, it's easy to determine which projects and which areas of your organization are going to greatly benefit by the application of Agile framework, and which parts of the organization are doing well just sticking with cranking things out. Maybe you're in a production organization and Kanban is the way to go and you're cranking through stuff and you're doing really well and you don't need to switch things up. Things are good the way they are. Maybe you're working in a traditional environment and you're delivering things regularly and you have strong relationships and strong teams and you're on a long-term project that's not going away or a long-term product. Well, absolutely, stick with it. There's no reason to mess up something that's working well. I think the message that we're trying to send here is that it's important for us to take a look at what we're doing and to determine whether Agile needs to be applied enterprise-wide or whether Agile needs to be applied within certain groups or whether Agile only applies to our software and hardware and IT parts of our organization. Now, while many Agilists will proclaim that the huge benefits of Agile come from the breakthrough of the Agile Manifesto for software development, the application of this to design and develop software and hardware, I would argue that there are other big, huge benefits that came out when we discovered how this could be applied across other areas of an organization. So I do feel like there is a great need for this to be applied in many other areas of most organizations, but most organizations aren't taking the time to study, research, and figure out exactly what they need to do. So for me, I think this is a three-part answer. So is agility only for IT or product development? No, it's not. Is it only applied to technical things? No, it is not. Is it applied across an entire organization regardless of what you're trying to build? No, it is not. Is agility the one-size-fits-all red pill, blue pill solution? Is it spandex of the entire Agile community? No, it's not. And I think that perspective is what's missing. So the first answer is it's about perspective. It's about looking at what you have and determining, using GROW, what's my goal? What's my reality? What are our options and what will we commit to do to determine whether Agile is a best fit for that part of the organization or not? And what you're going to discover is that there are way more parts of the organization that can benefit from Agile, but that not every part of the organization will completely benefit from an Agile implementation. So, myth here, I'm going to say question mark on this one, right? I still feel like there's more investigation that needs to be done. I'm confident that we can find ways to apply business agility across most of what's being done in an organization. But I would still argue that there's a time and a place for us to really hunker down and focus and maybe follow some more traditional practices. There's nothing wrong with identifying and running risk assessments. There's nothing wrong with modeling team communications and making sure that we're eliminating waste. I think all these things are important, and while they're not exclusively part of Agile, they should be part of your business model. Well, that'll do it for today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. As always, we encourage you, if you have an idea for an episode, to reach out to us at learnmore@agiledad.com. We would love to hear about your thoughts or ideas. As always, we encourage you to stay healthy, stay well, and stay agile, my friends. Until next time, do take care.